Hey there, Warriors. My name is Alan Peterson, and welcome to this WSO, and thank you for your interest in Interview Profits Unleashed. In this video, I'm just going to quickly show you what you can expect inside once you order this WSO. We're going to kick things off with a 37-page quick start report titled How to Create Your Own Interview Type Product in 9 Easy Steps. Now, just as the title says, it's going to take you from step 1 to step 2. You move on to step 3 all the way to step 9. At the end, you should be able to have your very own interview type product, which you can sell, you can give away to build a list, and provide content for your sites. All that's covered in this 37-page report. My favorite part, though, are the audio interviews. This is audio interviews with 5 successful marketers that have used interviews to boost their online businesses. That's over 4 hours of insider tips on how these guys have leveraged the power of interviews with their own business. You're also going to get transcripts for all 5 interviews. I know a lot of people like to read or follow along with the audio interview, with a transcript. So you're actually going to get transcripts for all 5 interviews as well. And everything is put in the membership site, so you can access the audio online. You can listen to it from my website, or you can download them to your computer and listen to them at your convenience on your iPad or iPod or whatever it is you're using to consume the content. So it's very easy to access. Let me introduce you to the interviewees here. This is some pretty cool people. And starting off with Tim Bourquin. This guy's my hero when it comes to interview products. He's a former cop who now kills it with membership sites, and he uses interviews for the content. Tim has hundreds of interviews under his belt, and his big site is traderinterviews.com. This site generated over $100,000 in sales in 9 months. So he's making some great income from interviewing stock traders, and that's just one of his sites, one of his interview-based type sites. He has others in other niches, but this one's his big earner. And as you can see, you don't have to be in the IM niche to leverage the power of interviews. Myself, I've also created interview products in other niches. I've interviewed lawyers, I've interviewed a person who relocates people, and I've interviewed real estate agents and brokers in niches outside of internet marketing. So don't think that this is just for people who are in the internet marketing niche. Jay Boyer is another person who has made some serious income from interviews. He began knowing nothing about how to record an interview. He actually got the idea from a webinar, and the guy doing the webinar mentioned that this was a great way of creating a product, and Jay Boyer just took off running. So he's going to show us, he shares with us how he did that. One of his first interview products was Amazon cash machines, where he interviewed 9 different people who were very successful with Amazon. Somebody was setting up review sites. Another person was publishing Kindle ebooks. Another person was publishing paperbacks through CreateSpace and then flipping the books. And so he was able to get these 9 experts on and create this great product. And so you'll be able to discover how he actually snagged some of these big names when he was relatively unknown at the time, and shows how you can tap into these experts in these niches, even though you might not be an expert yourself. Gallagher, he puts a pretty interesting twist in my opinion. He actually does Skype video interviews. So it's not an audio file, it's an actual video, and it's split screen. He's got Sean on one side asking questions and the person being interviewed on the other side. And he also gets some gigantic names, Yarostarik and other people to agree to do video interviews, which I think is kind of amazing, especially the big names that he got to participate. And he creates his interviews from his beach house in Mexico. He lives on the beach in Mexico. He's a surfer dude, and so he's down there in Mexico, and he's putting these video interviews together. So this kind of also shows you that it doesn't matter where you are. You can be anywhere in the world, and you can do this. Next up, we have Rob Canyon. He's an offline and online expert. He's kind of more of a behind-the-scenes kind of a guy, but he's the go-to guy for big-name gurus like Willie Crawford, Dave Preston. So Rob Canyon really knows what he's doing. And he actually interviewed Mike Geary, the man behind The Truth About Abs, who has sold millions of ebooks on ClickBank. Mike Geary is very, very successful internet marketer to say the least. And so we talked to Rob about how he was able to get somebody like that to agree to an interview. And he also shares other great tips on how to leverage interviews for your business. Paul Chow, I met Paul right here on the Warrior Forum. He created an entire product based on one question. And I thought that was really cool, so I'm going to talk to him about it. And so I interviewed him about it. So he has some pretty cool information about that. And he also was able to gather a pretty impressive lineup of well-known Warrior Forum members. So we talk about that during the interview as well. And then James Foster, of all these guys, this is the only one that I actually knew beforehand. I didn't know any of these other people that I interviewed. But James, I've been friends with James for a while. I used to live in Minnesota, so we used to have a meetup every month. And he started out as a copywriter and as a JV manager, and decided that he wanted to start creating his own products. And so right away, he started doing interviews, because that was the fastest way of getting products up and running. And now he's a product creating machine. He puts out a lot of WSOs. He's also involved in the offline market, very successful. And it all started out with interviews. So we talked to James on how he got things up and going with interviews. The interviews are, I really try not to hold anything back. I don't want this just to be some sort of like ego boosting for the interviewees. So we really do cover what works, what doesn't work when it comes to recording interviews. Things like the best pricing models for interview products. How much do you charge? We discuss that. We also cover the tools that you're going to need, obviously, for this type of endeavor. We also learn from our mistakes. We all make mistakes. Things like not recording the interview. You go through a whole interview and then you find out at the end that you didn't record it. It happened to me. So we talk about that and other mistakes like terrible audio quality and things of that nature. You can really learn from those mistakes. So we cover that as well. We also talk about resources, for example, how to find affordable transcriptionists and more. And also how to outsource things, like the transcription service, audio editing. You can outsource the whole process really if you want. I don't recommend you outsource the actual interviewing part, but all the other stuff you can outsource. And so basically, I asked tough questions and they answered. And so that's what this is all about, is to be able to provide you with a lot of great information. And so there's a lot more that you'll be learning from these interviews as well as from the report. So I just would like to encourage you to go ahead and order. Just scroll down to the bottom and you can order. You'll see that the price is very, very cheap. I'm not lying here. I actually didn't want to sell this cheap, but just keep it in spirit of the WSO, what the WSO is supposed to be all about. You're going to get access to everything, the report, all the interviews, all the transcripts for a very, very cheap price, in my opinion. So scroll down, order. If you have any questions, let me know, and to see you on the inside.